Hello, everyone. Good morning. Hello, Louise. Hi, Rocio. Welcome to today's webinar. Hello, Laura. Hi, everyone is joining us. Hello, Daniel. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, Ola. Hi, everyone. If you want to, pop a little hello message in the chat so you're able to interact on the chat. Pop a little hello message and where you're from. Hello from Spain. Hello, Dorota. Hi, Anna. Welcome. Whereabouts in Spain are you? I'm also in Spain. I'm based down in Malaga. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of people from Spain today. Welcome, everyone. Hi, Caroline. Hello, Mary. Hi, Mary from Barcelona. In Timor. Lovely. Thank you for joining us, Anna. In Cadiz. Excellent. Fellow Andalusian. Hi, everyone else who's coming in. Reyes, hello. Great, Anna. We're so happy you're here as well. What time is it for you? 6 o'clock. Okay. Great. Hello, Eugenia. Antoinette, hello. Welcome, everyone. From Barcelona, another one. Excellent. People still coming in. Good morning. Fantastic. Okay, well, just a little bit about me then whilst you're all coming in. Well, good morning. My name is Kate Trafford. I work for Cambridge University Press and Assessment as a professional learning and development trainer. Today, we are here to look at life adventures. This session is all about you and getting you started with your journey with this amazing book. And we're really looking forward to getting started. I think everyone has joined now, so we're going to go ahead. So just a couple of things before we start to let you know that you will receive your certificate for attendance for this session in a follow-up email, and that this session is being recorded, so you will also receive a recording as well. And as you've already seen, the chat is live, and please do interact with us on the chat, okay? Our colleague Rachel is there having a look at the chat, so she'll be monitoring that for us. Okay, yeah, Rachel's just provided a little bit of extra information in the chat for you. Okay, so please do go ahead and write all of your comments, thoughts, and suggestions as we go along, because there will be lots of questions to be answered as this is a participative event. Okay, excellent. So what we will be looking at today then, we will be going through firstly the Cambridge support session. So that is what you can find all online, and all of the different links you'll be getting in the webinar chat as well. So please do click on them, save them, or bookmark them for later use. We'll be going through all of the online resources for you, which are super useful. After that, we're then going to be looking at life adventures, taking a deep dive into a unit and looking at the unit pattern and what life adventures has to offer. Then at the end, I'll take any of your questions via the chat, and you can either ask in the chat as we go through, or you can save them to the end. That is your choice. Okay, so let's get started then. So we are still in September. I hope you have all had a brilliant start to your academic year. Now, the academic year is always really exciting because it gives us an opportunity to establish rapport and relationships, either with previous students or new students that may have joined us, setting up routines and rules for our classroom. So how do we want our environment to look in our classroom? We can share goals, learning goals, motivate and engage the learners. It's a really great opportunity to get them hooked into learning as they start their academic journey. It gives us an opportunity to plan how you support the learners and develop their language skills. Now, we have a whole range of support available, which, as I said, I will show you later. As we know, we have lots of different levels and abilities in the class, and we are here to support you. support learners in understanding what success looks like so they are feeling good about themselves. And as I said, we have lots to show you to show that you are supported by Cambridge. So one of the first things I want to take you through then is making the most of our website. So in the chat, you will receive a link to the English language learning website, which has lots of things, including a really interesting and up-to-date blog post for your wider reading. So if you're looking into developing your CPD by reading articles and professional insights written by people who work for Cambridge, then you have blog posts there, World of Better Learning. We're also going to have a look now at the Cambridge Life Competencies Framework, a PDF, which again you can download and save to your computer. We're going to be looking at the activity cards associated with the Cambridge Life Competencies Framework, and then we're having a look at a range of low prep activities, which again you can download. So first of all then, on the website, you'll be able to have a look at the Life Competencies Framework. Thank you, Rachel. The Life Competencies Framework is a skills-based and competencies-based framework that is designed to enhance learners' ability to survive and thrive in the real world. These competencies are different depending on age, and they introduce things like learning to learn, critical thinking skills, creativity, all of the different competencies that we know our learners need to do and need to have developed at school in order for them to thrive when they leave us. For example, an activity card, which are little low prep, very quick activities that you can pull per competency, are available to download as well. So if we have a look at this one here, this activity card is for the competency and skill learning to learn. Hello, Mahmoud from Iran. Welcome. Lovely for you to join us. So I was just saying, learning to learn activity card. This is a competency-based card, so developing their life skills. And it says here as well, reflecting and evaluating on their own learning. Now, this is a quick, simple task for you to use at any point in your class when you think that is the correct time. And this is an example, task completion scale. So here, they are able to evaluate and self-reflect using this scale here from, I don't do this task very well, so they're perhaps thinking that they need some extra support, and they could even expand this by saying what support that they need, or up to here, I did this task really well, and then expanded by saying how they're going to challenge themselves further. Okay, this is an example of one of the activity cards. A few more activity cards that are now based on social responsibilities. So here in the yellow, you can see understanding personal responsibilities as part of a social group, showing intercultural awareness, understanding global issues. Okay, so all of these here are reflected on our activity cards, and we could do things like necessities and luxuries, map of the world, and group circles. They are explained in detail how you can do these activities, and as I said, you can download them and they are ready to go. What is really nice about these activities is that if you are a coordinator of English, or if you have a Teams if you have a sharing department file with your English department, you can download them and then upload them to your Teams or your shared folder, and you can take it in turns to try out the different activities and then share with each other best practice and share your feedback about how that particular activity went. Next, also available to download from the website, is this Classroom Warmers activity booklet. Very similar to the activity card in that it is full of very quick and useful fun activities for you to do in the classroom that don't take long to prepare. So for example, we have different types of quizzes that you could be doing and how to do an anagram to enhance language learning. Again, all available to download from our website. You can print it out and share it as a department, or you could just flick through and think, okay, today's lesson, I know that my class need to work on whatever they need to work on, and you can find an activity to develop that particular skill. It's nice because it gives us a chance as a teacher to be able to reflect very quickly on the needs of the class. So last lesson, I saw that they were struggling with spelling, for example, Therefore, I'm going to practice that. And you can go to the anagrams and you can practice the spelling like that. So it's a good way to be able to quickly reflect on the needs of your classes. Then I just want to tell you about this really lovely book that we have available to buy from the Cambridge shop. And you can also download a free chapter just to have a little pre-reading here as well. It is Carol Reed's 101 Tips for Teaching Primary Children. 101 little activities, again, low prep, very easy to get to and to employ in the classroom. This one here is the aspiration tree. As we are at the beginning of the school year, relatively, there's still a really good time to create this aspiration tree. Write one thing that you would like to achieve in English. Every learner writes their one aspiration, and you can glue it on the display board together, and it creates a sense of community and sense of collaboration as well. Great. So we're now heading a little bit further into Life Adventures, but still looking at the online resources that we have available to you. So your home for digital learning, Cambridge One. Now you will have access to your Cambridge One login by using your teacher's book and finding the code that you can scratch off and use to join. That will be your activation code for your Life Adventures book. So Cambridge One is a fantastic resource where you have everything in one place. So this is from your interactive workbook to your teacher resources that you can download to a test generator and everything in between. It's age appropriate. It's also available for your students and learners to use on their phone or on their tablets. And you can collect data as well and keep track of homework, etc. So I'm going to show you now what it would look like. So this is the login page. You can do your quick login with social media, or you can log in using your school email if you wish. Then once you're in, you can see that you will have to activate your Life Adventures with the code that I mentioned in your teacher's book previously. When you have activated that, they will come up here for you and you can bookmark them so it has easy access. Now up here, you'll be able to see we have my classes, my library, and my training. These are the main sections you can click on. You have your bookmarked course, and then of course the course material. Once you click on the course material, so here we've gone into level 4 of Life Adventures. These are the different things you'll be able to see. Test Generator creates your own assessment, which is a fantastic tool because you will never have to create an assessment from scratch again. It's an absolute lifesaver, and it's a brilliant free tool for you to use. My only recommendation for you is that you check that you can download it, and if you have any issues with your software, then ask your IT technician at school to help you download. We have Presentation Plus, the interactive ebook, and then we have interactive practice with Practice Extra per unit, and lots of teachers' resources, including worksheets to print out and external links. And some of those external links even include links to Kahoot, which we know young learners absolutely love, with pre-made sets of the vocabulary per unit, which again, a really fantastic resource. And then our learners' resources, they have the audios and answer keys. That is all available to you as a teacher on Cambridge One. A little bit of extra Cambridge One as well. We have self-study in the training section up here. So previously we were in my library, and now we are in my training. And you'll be able to see that you can click on these modules, and they're very quick, very easy modules as a refresher of how to use Cambridge One. Okay, so what extra things can you do with the Practice Extra and digital workbook? How to use Presentation Plus. If you're lucky enough to have an interactive whiteboard on your in your classroom, then it's a really good way to see all of the different aspects and elements of Presentation Plus to display and be interactive with the students, and then test and train as well. If you're interested, you also have professional development. So if the blog and if the activity cards weren't enough for you and you'd like some more, we also have these free development courses for you to go and have a look at. They range from 2-hour courses and 4-hour courses for you to take as you wish. That is all available for you on Cambridge One, a really fantastic resource. If you have any questions about Cambridge One, actually, just before I move on, contact your local centre rep and they'll be able to help you with setting up classes and any more technical questions that you may have. Your local rep, ELT consultant, will be able to help you there. Yes, Dorota, they are really excellent tools. Okay, now we're looking at exam journey then. So we know that Life Adventures has a natural progression into helping students prepare for the exam, but we also not only have what is in the book in Life Adventures, but we have a lot more outside of that that you can download from our website. So we know that the exam is based on our 4 skills. We also have word lists that you can download. This one is a pre-A1, but we have all of the different levels. We have posters that you can get to help visualize the exam for them and get them to start thinking about the exam in a low stakes, low anxiety way. So these posters here are really visual. They're good to help exploit and develop vocabulary. So you can see here, we've got tennis, we've got things that your teacher may say at the bottom. So you can use these commands in your classroom and the students get very familiar with them. Also things that you may say, so questions that you would like the learners to be asking you, you have them in written form on a poster here for you. Okay, so there's lots of ways that you could use this poster in your classroom. Again, you could display this next to the aspiration tree that we looked at earlier, and it just merges a really nice aspect of the exams, whilst also that sense of community and that sense of belonging in the classroom where they've written their aspiration. Okay, we also have a range of classroom activities for the exams as well. Okay, all of the links are being posted in the chat just for you to see. Again, as I recommend, click on the link and bookmark it as we go, just so you have them all there. But don't forget, you will get this recording at the end as well. So we have classroom activities, and we also have some help with learners who may have additional needs. So we're looking here at personalized learning. So this one is particularly with students with dyslexia, but we have a range of different activities on there as well. Okay, so making sure that every learner in our classroom is feeling supported and is making success. Okay, teaching learners with dyslexia. Okay, you can see it really goes into detail and there's lots of ideas there for you. Fantastic. All right, so now we're going to have a look at what resources we offer for sustainability. Now, this is a big topic that we have been talking a lot about recently. And I just want to ask you, why do you think that we should bring sustainability into the English language classroom? If you could pop your answers in the chat, I'll give you 1 minute, please. Have a little think. Why do you think sustainability particularly is important for our young learners to be talking about and to be learning about? It is definitely a very pressing subject. Thank you, Anna. Yeah. I'll give you a minute to write your answers. They do. Young people do care about these topics. It creates a good environment. It does. It's a collaboration topic as well that everyone cares about. Makes them conscious about what is going on with the world around them. Exactly. Yes. Okay, so thank you for your answers there. So sustainability in language, I'm just going to read all is. It's connected to real life context, something they may already learn about in school, so it helps them build connections. Exactly. They already know a little bit about it, and they may be studying it in different subjects, so it's also a bit of cross-curricular as well. Thank you, Ola. So young people want to play an active part in society. It's meaningful and contextualized engagement with the English language, development of life skills, as we say, related to our framework, our life competencies framework. It builds the life skills for when they are after school life. English is a shared language in global discussions. And of course, in some regions, it is part of the governmental and institutional requirements as well. So at Cambridge then, what can we offer you? We have the Sustainability Framework for English Language Learners. Again, a bit like what we looked at earlier, we have these Young Learner activity cards. Okay, so these are a range of activities that you could do to help start thinking about ways that young learners can get involved with helping the environment and just even talking about the environment as well. Okay, we have here, for example, showing empathy and compassion for all forms of life. This is working on their values. We have here developing their knowledge, finding connections within and between systems. Okay. We have innovation, so we're getting them to be creative and thinking about the future, imagining alternative futures, and then finally transformation, promoting social inclusion. Okay, so all of these different activities here based on the different skills, all relating to sustainability. And as Rachel has just posted, download the link for these cards in the chat. Fantastic. Okay, and then last thing then, of all of the resources that I have quickly shown you here, we have AI, generative AI. So in the chat box then please, one word or phrase about how you as a teacher feel about Gen AI. I'll give you 1 minute. Anything, there's no right or wrong answer. Just how does it make you feel? Oh, it saves time. Okay. Makes you feel a bit uneasy. Yes, it's an unknown world, isn't it? You need some guidance, uncertainty. Yeah. Hopeful. Oh, I like that. Excellent. Yeah. It's all of these feelings, isn't it? It's the unknown. It's all new, but we know that it has potential, and yeah, lots of different things that we can feel about it. So we are here to support you. We have the generative AI idea pack. So very similar to what we've seen before with our sustainability and our life competencies activity cards. Download this pack for different ways that you can integrate AI into your classroom. So here we're looking at the digital classroom. We have chatbot role play. So the students are putting themselves into the role of being a chatbot, which they will definitely have come across before. So it's relating to their experience. The digital world, so making a little bit of a bigger picture. And then finally, the digital teacher. So as a teacher, what can you be doing to help improve your understanding and knowledge? So perhaps we get rid of that fear if anyone does feel a little bit fearful of AI, which is totally understandable. Lots of support here to help you understand a little bit more and to gain some knowledge so that you can use it in your classes and you feel confident about talking about AI. Fantastic. Okay, thank you, Rachel, for posting that link. Amazing. All right, so that is everything now then for the online support that you have access to and that we offer here at Cambridge. Before we move on to Life Adventures, if you want to pop any reflections or any questions about the online resources in the chat, please go ahead. And then we're going to be starting with Life Adventures in just 1 minute. I will just give you a minute to summarize and reflect on what we've just looked at. Any questions in the chat? Fabulous. Okay, let's get started then with Life Adventures. So, to learn English is to enjoy and experience a language that opens up opportunities across the world. We believe that language is at the heart of being human, and English can unlock a lifetime of experiences. We help individuals everywhere connect, communicate, and come closer together. Now, this is part of our mission statement to do with Life Adventures about the core values of Life Adventures. The fantastic thing about this particular coursebook is it's all about connections and human connections in particular, and being intercultural and diversity. So before we look before we zoom in, I would like to know a little bit about what you would like to get out of this session to do with life adventures. So in the chat, please, could you write either 3 things that you would like to learn about life adventures, 2 things that you already know, perhaps you've been using it for a little while, and then, excuse me, and then 1 thing that your students need to learn English. So 3, 2, 1. If you can just do one of those things, then go ahead, pop it in the chat, or if you can do all 3, that would be fantastic. I'll give you 2 minutes, please. 3, 2, 1 in the chat. Interaction. Which bit is that for, Esperanza? Students, what the things that your students need to learn English so that they can interact with other people. Communication. How best to use it in a lesson. Okay, you're brand new, Ola, fantastic. Uses laptops and interactive whiteboards. No paper books, okay. How to use the material and assessment effectively, fantastic. Okay, we're gonna have a look into the assessment as well, which is really great. Don't worry, Ola, if you have no paper books, it's all available on Cambridge One that we looked at earlier. New and engaging content, not using it yet. Don't worry, there's lots of engaging content in Life Adventures. It's a really, really fun book. How to make students work together and use material in practice. Great. Okay, lovely questions. Thank you so much for putting these in the chat. So let's dive in then. As I mentioned before, a little bit about the values and the underlying foundations of Life Adventures. Well, we have the 3 pillars here. By motivating children and arousing curiosity about the world around them. So the book is based on a family that are work for a circus, and they're traveling all around. So it's all about curiosity with a positive outlook to different cultures and life. We have through collaborative learning and life skills. As I mentioned, we have the competencies framework, and this book enhances that by looking at things we call a mission, which I'll tell you about later, which are real life scenarios. And then we have a natural integration of exam preparations throughout the course. So every unit, there is exam preparation and practice. So I'm going to talk you through here a unit overview. So we're diving into an example unit. Now we're going to look at level 3, but this is also relatively the same for other levels. Now, at the end of this unit overview, I will go through some similarities and differences for other levels, but we're just going to take level 3 as an example. Now, when I say unit pattern, I mean it's because it's the same structure in every unit in the book. So this is, for example, unit 3, but next time we're going to have a look at another unit and you will see it is the same pattern, it's the same structure. So what happens then in each unit? Unit 1, you have the opener with a real life documentary style video and the mission setup. Again, hold your questions about missions, I'm coming to that next. Then lesson 2, we have the presentation of the key vocabulary. That is done through a chant and lots of a nice video, okay, vocab presentation. Then 3, we have a story using the vocabulary that they have just learned and putting it into context here. Lesson 4, we have the language, so looking at something called Gracie's grammar, which we will come to, so the language practice and mission number 1. Number 5, we have the vocabulary practice through songs. Just having a quick check on the chat. Can you please send the previous links? Yes, no worries. They will be coming through for you, Reyes, okay? Lesson 5, we said the vocab in a song now. Lesson 6, we've got another Gracie's grammar point in language 2 and mission checkpoint 2. Lesson 7 and 8, we're now looking at cross-curricular, our CLIL pages, so different subjects and how they can be integrated into that unit using English. Lesson 9 and 10, now we're looking at literature and a story that is all about social and emotional skills. And then lesson 11 is exam preparation that we talked about earlier. And lesson 12 is the unit review and the final mission in action or mission completed activity that we can have a look at as well. So this is an overview, and now we're going to dive into each lesson and really pull apart how we can maximize the coursebook in our lesson. So lesson number 1 then. As I said, it is the opening video, and it starts with this big picture, and you click on the video, which is documentary style. Now, my question to you is, if this is the opener, the first time that they are being introduced to this particular unit, and they are seeing a documentary style video, what ways can you make this come alive in your classroom? If you could write your ideas in the chat, that would be great. How have you used videos before? And what would you do to introduce the topic using this video? For example, I might say to them, before we watch the video, what do you think it's going to be about? And they have to write down their ideas. And at the end, we come back and say, were your ideas correct? Are there any other ways that you think you could use the video in your classroom? Perhaps as well, you could link it to other food documentaries. So you may get them perhaps looking beyond this particular documentary and linking them to cooking shows. For example, in England, there are cooking shows such as the Great British Bake Off. And you could maybe find in this particular unit, we're looking at China and perhaps Chinese food, but you could link it to a documentary that you may know in English about food in China, or a TV program that you know, and just talk about food in general. Okay, we've got some answers coming in. Thank you. By asking them about their routines, family traditions. Excellent. What family food traditions do they have? Watch it once without the sound. Nice. Ask the students what they think is happening, and then watch it again with sound to check understanding. Yeah, really like that, because it does take some learners, it takes some time to process what they're watching, and to watch it once, it might not be enough. So watching it once without sound and then again with sound, I think that's a really great idea, Orla. Thank you. Okay, so that's the introductory video, and then we have the mission here, which I said I am coming to. Lesson 2 then, we have the vocab presentation. So in this particular instance, as I said, they're in China, so we're looking at vocabulary such as noodles, milkshakes, coffee, pancakes, strawberries. That is the food vocabulary that we are looking at within the context of this particular unit in China. So what other cultural information could we be adding here? It doesn't have to be about China. This unit is particularly there, but it could be anything else. Any cultural information that you think that you could relate to the vocabulary presentation here? I like, actually, you can probably link what you said, Dorota, here about food traditions. You could definitely link that with cultural understanding and cultural development here. Perhaps they could do some research about different traditional foods across the world, different languages that they speak. Yeah, definitely. China is a diverse linguistically, isn't it? Okay, great. So now then, moving on to our promised mission here. So a mission is a really exciting real life scenario where students will get to practice the language they have learned, but within real life context. So the mission is staged and scaffolded in 3 parts. So we have a look. Firstly, in this particular unit, it is creating a restaurant. I'm just going to zoom in for you in case you can't see, but here we go. in this unit is firstly creating a restaurant, then secondly talking about restaurants with a partner. So that could be a role play, it could be a scenario in a restaurant. Number 3 is creating a restaurant menu, and then finally writing a review. So all of these here are scaffolded throughout the unit as they build on prior knowledge and use the vocabulary as they go through to make progress. So it takes you through them. Zoom out for you. Stage 1, we have creating the restaurant. Then we have stage 2, talking about restaurants with a partner, and then the restaurant menu. And finally, our last page in the unit is the mission in action. I will zoom in for you, and it gives you a really highlighted and detailed information about a final piece of work that they could do based on real life that they can bring to life for them in the classroom. So for example, here you have a nice image of a role play scenario about going to a restaurant and then writing a review afterwards. Okay, broken down for you, lots of questions for them to answer. And as you can see here as well, it says My Mission Diary activity book. So in the pupils activity book, they will have lots of more information and things that they can do to guide them for their final restaurant review. Thank you, Anna, as well. Yeah, creativity and entrepreneurship. Yes, exactly. It's building all of these skills that we know are so important in this day and age. Okay, lesson 3 then. So now we're looking at the story with new language presented in context. So previously was the vocabulary. Now we see the same vocabulary within the story. And here my question is to you. I'm just going to move on now because I'm very conscious of time. I know that a lot of you, it's still the school day for a lot of you. But how can we help students empathize with the characters in the story? If you have an answer that you'd like to share with us, please pop a message in the chat. But otherwise, you can just reflect yourself and just think, okay, we have the story here. How can we make the characters come alive and make our learners empathize with them? Once they have looked at the new language within the story, and you can read it as a class, they can read it individually, etc. You then go on to language practice, which is Gracie's grammar box, which highlights the target language that the learners have previously heard in the story. So looking now, if I zoom in for you, Grammar Spotlight, it's the place where I studied. So we're looking here at where, who, and which. Up here, you have different activities. So we have describe the picture, what are they doing as a class discussion. We then have a reading activity, and you see the blue arrow here. That is for your interactive workbook for when you're on Cambridge One, and you're able to click on it, and it will give you a range of practical interactive activities for this particular task. Then we have the introduction of the grammar, Gracie's grammar, a guessing game, and mission stage 1. So you can see each page of the workbook is broken down into a series of different activities. Now this one here we said is language practice and mission, but the other pages are also broken down into activities as well. So if we zoom in then on that particular reading that we just looked at, an idea for you to bring this grammar activity to life is the activity Grammar Detective. So I'll just talk you through how it works. When the class has finished the practice activities, you put them in pairs. They then look at the correct answers they have written and make them wrong. Okay, so they have to decide where they are going to change it. Mistakes should be a mix of grammar and concepts. They then swap with another pair and look for the mistakes and then correct them. Okay, so for example here, this is the place which I studied, who I climbed, and they have to switch and then correct, and switch back, and they have to see if their partners saw their corrections. Okay, so it's a really nice way of getting them to use their critical thinking skills. It improves their understanding of grammar in a fun way. Exactly, Anna, thank you very much. And then if it's too much, then you can make it into a dictation game, which offers an opportunity for our integrated assessment and learning. So some formative assessment here as a teacher, as you're able to circulate and have a look at how they have changed the errors. Okay, fantastic. Okay, just a quick idea. Again, if you have any other ideas of some activities that spring to mind straight away of how you would expand this text, just pop them in the chat and we can share. Okay, now we're at lesson 5. We're looking at the vocabulary in a song. This is a really catchy song. You know, you might find yourself singing it or humming it on your drive home after school. And there's also on Cambridge One, the karaoke videos, which are great because it encourages learners to learn the lyrics off by heart. You're right, they love karaoke. It's so much fun. It's a good way to end the lesson, and they're having fun and learning without even realizing that they're learning. And they make progress really, really quickly with the karaoke and the songs. I've also seen some schools do lip syncing as well, like a lip syncing competition, which is really fun. And again, they're learning the lyrics without even realizing. Okay, so you have karaoke videos and all of the different songs, audios on Cambridge One for you. Then lesson 5, we're looking at a second grammar structure or language structure with Gracie's Grammar, and we're now scaffolded onto stage 2. Okay, so we're making progress towards the end goal in stage 2 of the mission. Okay, now lesson 7 and 8, we are looking at cross-curricular, so our CLIL pages. And in this particular one, we are looking at food and perhaps relating it to, if I zoom in for you here, so you can see a little bit clearer. Listen and read, what are the main 5 food groups? Okay, so we're relating it to healthy living, wherever that comes in your curriculum. But you could not only just relate it to healthy living, but there are other subjects as well that you could link it to. Okay, so we talked earlier a little bit about different foods across different cultures, foods and traditional foods. You could be talking, especially for people who are in Spain, about the comparison of timings of food as well. You could link this to an art project. Perhaps they could be drawing their favorite foods or doing a project for geography, even a little bit about foods around the world. Okay, so there's lots of ways that you can exploit this. It doesn't have to be the subject that we have given you in the book. You can take that and add some more. Okay, lesson 8, we then have stage 3, the mission, check-in points as they make progress. So to develop on the idea of the foods, we have a speaking practice. So we can link it back to the speaking exam and say, okay, yes, we know that we need to be speaking for, speaking fluently and confidently. So let's practice for the speaking exam with a class mingle. So you may have seen this before, and it always works well. They absolutely love being able to sort of question, and I don't want to say interrogate, but sometimes it does end up a little bit like an interrogation of their fellow classmates. So simple questions such as, what did you have for breakfast this morning? What's your favorite food? And what healthy food would you include in a restaurant menu? Okay, and they have to go around and fill in with different people in the classroom as well. So this is good to develop team building and collaboration skills. They can't use the same classmate for more than 2 questions, for example. So they have to mingle with each other. That's an idea of one way of doing it. Another way of doing it could be that you as a teacher actually give the answers. So you have written the answers and you give them out to one answer per child, and then they have to go around and collect the correct amount of answers. So again, developing speaking skills, developing collaboration skills and community in the classroom as well as they get to know each other and talk to each other. Okay, lots of ways you can expand this speaking idea. Yeah, very dynamic. It is. To get them up and using English in a contextual way, it does really help them, reinforce the language that they're learning in a fun way. Then we have lessons 9 and 10. We have the literature. As I said, this is particularly focusing on social and emotional skills. The questions here, which I think is really important to note, are different to the previous story. So this is literature based, and as you can see, the questions are conceptual. It's about what happened in the book. Okay, whereas the previous story was all about language and practicing and putting the vocabulary and the grammar structure in practice. This is doing that at the same time as teaching them about social and emotional skills and developing that all important. We know how important it is. Reading for pleasure. Okay, really encouraging that love of reading, because we know that it helps every other skill. Reading helps inform excellent writing that they'll need, excellent speaking and development of vocabulary, etc. So this, hopefully, if you read it as a class, and again, you can be bringing the characters to life in lots of different ways that suit your students. Really bring them into this love of reading for pleasure, with the literature at the end. Okay. One other way that you could add different activities to exploit this literature activity is by using the crystal ball idea. Now, depending on how sort of dramatic your learners are, depending on your context, but you could bring in, a crystal ball or a fake one, or even just, make a football a crystal ball, whatever it may be, and get them to wonder and be ambitious, inquisitive, and imaginative about the story. So here we are really zooming in then on the questions that we could be using in class about the literature. So how and when did they arrive there? Getting your crystal ball out. What did you think? What time is it? Is it going to be dark? Is it going to be light outside? What are they talking about? And what else could they be talking about with what's going to be happening next? Okay, so they could be thinking really creatively by wondering about the different scenarios. And then our penultimate spread, this is where we get to our exam practice. So you can see the little monkey down here. The monkey will signify that it's exam practice. Okay. And then finally we have our mission in action, sorry, did I miss a question? Would that be done as a class activity, or is it better suited for homework? Sorry, Dorota, I missed that one. Go back here. I think, yeah, I agree with Anna. Either way, it definitely depends on your context, I would say. What you could do is perhaps, take a crystal ball in class and discuss it verbally, and then perhaps at home, if your school does set homework, they could write it up and they could bring it in and share it. Okay, that would be my suggestion. So yes, the exam spread with our monkey, and then finally our submissions, and just a little fun thing of how can we celebrate excellent mission complete submissions. So here we have the restaurant reviews. So again, you could get them to type it and to design it, as if it was a professional one, or they could handwrite it up to you and decorate it as well with perhaps photos of the food that they ate, or get them to be creative and to think outside the box with how they could hand in this submission, whilst going a little bit above and beyond to show that they have really practiced and learned the vocabulary that we have been looking at in this unit. And then finally, then at the end of the unit, we have the review section. Now, this is every 3 units you have the review. So you've got units 1 to 3 together, and it just takes you through consolidation and recall activities to help them solidify all of the vocabulary and language that they have been learning. So that is then the structure of the unit in Life Adventures. Okay, I'm just going to give you a minute there just to have a little look and ask any questions that you may have about any of the lessons or parts of the unit that you may like to just pick up on here, anything that you would like. As I said, all of the interactive activities available on Cambridge One, and you have your exam preparation as well. If your students have the activity book, there are a lot of activities for exam preparation in there as well. There are further activities in the activity book. If your students do not have the activity book, then you can show it on the interactive whiteboard. You could show one copy on the interactive whiteboard, and they could do it in their workbook or in their exercise book, for example. So we looked at level 3 then, and I'd just like to talk you through levels 5 and 6 if you are using those, and just a couple of differences that you'll notice. So here, the first thing that may stand out to you, if I just zoom in here, is that it now reflects the progress and the maturity of the young learners with pictures of real people. So prior, in earlier levels, it was cartoons, and now we're looking at real people so that they are able to identify and connect with older learners and older pictures of real people. Okay, we've got more focus in general on language and structure than songs and chants. Okay, so it goes straight into, in levels 5 and 6, in lessons 3 and 4, straight into the grammar. So rather than introducing vocabulary via a chant, it goes into the language structure. And then we have vlog video diaries to encourage learners to think about the rest of the unit, and just to incorporate that element of digital learning as well. Now that learners may have access to phones, may have access to laptops, it just encourages that conversation about digital learning and safety around digital learning as well. Okay, those are the differences in levels 5 and 6. But otherwise, it will follow the same pattern, the unit structure that we looked at. Fantastic. Okay, so that is a summary then of Life Adventures, and we have done the following in the past hour. We have looked at the range of resources available online. You have all of the links to the PDF to bookmark and download later. We've looked at how to use Cambridge One, and you know that if you would like more information about Cambridge One, you have your local ELT consultant to ask, and you have the practice videos as well on Cambridge One that will take you through step by step how things work on Cambridge One and where to find things. We've looked at where you can find the extra practice for the exam journey, so the vocab list, the posters that you can download as well. We've seen what a unit looks like in Life Adventures and how it is broken down in the pattern. And we've discussed different activities of how to bring that even further to life in your classroom. And we've looked at some of the differences. So that is a quick summary for me. Now, if I could ask you, please, again, either by yourself or if you could please share as well, that would be really lovely to know. Something that you have learned today, something that you're going to take away and try in the classroom, and something that you have found a little bit interesting about Life Adventures, or even the resources online on Cambridge as well, something that you're thinking, oh, yes, I'm going to go away and try that. Okay, if you could drop your answers in the chat, or again, if you'd prefer to reflect, that's absolutely fine. I will give you a couple of minutes to do that. Yeah, Daniel, I've just read your question. I think that might be a question that you could perhaps email us separately with. I do understand your question, but let's have a look at that separately. Mary, I've never tried the karaoke. Yes, definitely try that. It's in you can download them on Cambridge One in Teachers Resources. Okay. I have understood the structures of the units of Life Adventures, but the mission concept is really interesting to me. Yeah. The mission is really good because it's nice because it's scaffolded and it really builds on prior knowledge. And they have a sense of achievement at the end, especially if you celebrate it, you know, with a little prize or by putting it up on the wall. They do really enjoy it. And the karaoke, yeah, the karaoke is a popular one. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, Daniel, you can ask us there. Various approaches to an activity, karaoke, interview. Yep. Fantastic. Okay, well, lovely. It's great to hear your reflections and to see that you've taken so much away from this session and that you're going to go and try mostly the karaoke, which is great. And also, yeah, the different speaking activities as well, and the mission as well. Fantastic. Lovely. Okay, well then, thank you so much. I hope this has been useful for you. You will get a little poll, I think, coming up at the end. If you could just leave us some feedback about how this session was for you, that will come up in a second. And then also Rachel's popping in the chat as well, and you can see on the screen all of the different other sessions. If you're not only teaching Life Adventures, but we have the other course books available as well that we are doing unit run-throughs with as well. Okay. Fantastic. Well, that is all from me. It's now over to you. If you want to put any questions in the chat, or if you just want to send a little message, then please go ahead. But otherwise, that is all from me. You're losing my audio. Is anyone else finding that? Thank you so much for brilliant ideas. Thank you, Dorota. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Ola. Thank you, Rocio. Amazing. Really happy to have been able to talk you through this. Thank you, Mary. We appreciate you coming as well. Okay, we're just waiting for the poll to be able to come up. I think there's a tiny bit of a technical difficulty. If you are able to stay and do the poll, fantastic. If not, don't worry. I understand that you're probably still at school. Okie dokie. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to sign off now. Have a great rest of your day, and any questions that you could drop us an email, and you can find all of the information on our website. Thank you so much.